There is only one place to start tonight. Last Saturday in Atlantic City, Carl Froch edged closer to a place in the final of the Super 6 tournament with a win on points against the veteran Glenn Johnson. He also retained his WBC title. He also returned in style to Sky TV. And he also completed a fight of Fight 6 in a fabulous sequence of unbelievable fights. All in all, not a bad night's work. So, fresh from victory and air travel and the ringside Sky studio, I'm joined now, delighted to say, by Carl Froch. Good evening, Carl.
Evening, Steve. I'm a bit disappointed because I was going to talk to you about my daffodils. My tulips have died. And you don't want to talk about flowers.
No, listen, I'm not doing flowers tonight. I'm doing flowers with guys that aren't world champions. It's just a rule I've got, Carl. You understand?
I understand, Steve.
Right, Carl, first of all, mate, congratulations. You got through it, but I thought it was like a fight of two halves. It was like the first 6 rounds where you were sort of, you know, looking at him, taking a look and picking him off, and then the last 6 rounds when you dominated. Have you had a chance to sit down and watch the fight, Carl?
Yeah, I've seen it once. It failed on my Sky Plus thing. That didn't work, so I had to put it on the Sky Player and watch it. So okay. I watched all the rounds. But yeah, no, you're dead right. Early on, I was taking a look at him like I do, and I was quite I was in the comfort zone, sort of getting through the rounds, thinking I'm just doing enough here, nicking these, and I'm still full of energy. And it's always nice if you can sort of go into the later rounds with a full tank of petrol, knowing full well you've got a 42-year-old in front of you, which is a bit silly, really, when you're defending your world title at top level. But, you know, when I needed to step on the gas and put the shots together and answer the shots that were coming at me, because I took a couple of right hands that I shouldn't have taken, warranted, but I always answered back. You know, I had the energy in the tank. It was 95 degrees in the Mendez gym in New York. It was very hot and humid and clothes were running. My legs were feeling a bit weak for 2 weeks. So I was a little bit unsure about myself over 12 rounds in Atlantic City.
So you wanted to keep something back for the last 4 or 5 rounds?
Exactly. So but I felt great. And round 12, I was putting it on it. Well, round 10, 11 and 12, I thought, you know what, he's totally exhausted and he's there for the stopping, really. But I didn't want to stay in there and take any silly risks. So I just did what I had to do, got the win, defended the title, and I'm in the final of the biggest tournament in world boxing. I've still got my belt intact. So it was a workmanlike performance, one that I was happy with. And after watching it back today, because I was on the ringside on Sky, looking at some of the highlights, I did a fantastic job against a top-level fighter. No, you did. And what sort of came across, you know, if you watch Glenn Johnson, you need to know a little bit to watch it, was that in those last 3 or 4 rounds, I think, and I'm glad you said it, because I agree with you, I think he was there to be stopped. I think he knew that he had no chance in the last 3 or 4 rounds, and that was just him being an old warrior and cagey and got through. And I agree with you, if you'd have really put it on him then, I think you had a good chance of forcing the first stoppage in about 200 years on him. Yeah, definitely. I just didn't want to take the risk, Steve. I thought to myself, you know what, I've won clearly on point. Yeah, absolutely. He'd already hit me in the bad ear, and my eardrum was perforated and ringing, and I thought, I've only got to walk into one shot off a man like this. He's a big, strong, light heavyweight. I know he made this 168-pound limit. Doesn't matter, he was big and strong, you could tell. Big and strong, he felt heavy and physically powerful in close, and I just thought, I don't need to get a hit with anything stupid at this stage. There was so much at stake. I mean, look at the final against Ward, WBC, WBA. I've just found out the Ring magazine belts on the... I've always wanted that belt. It looks beautiful. And also the Super 6 trophy. So there's 4 prizes on this final. So, I mean, I'm trying to get my head around it now. But there's just no point in taking risks. I'll take the risks when I have to against Ward, and that's going to be one hell of an exciting fight, and one I'm already looking forward to. And me too. Now, Carl, let me ask you this. Is there any news on whether that's going to be October, November, whether it's going to be at Los Angeles, whether it's going to be Las Vegas, and might we know in the next few weeks, or is it going to be left till August? Yeah, we should know. We should have some confirmation. I don't know about the next few weeks. Showtime are working around a Manny Pacquiao situation. I don't know what's happening there 100%. Okay, so you've got to avoid that, But I think we're going to work towards November, early November, maybe late November, and it's going to be, hopefully, in Las Vegas, because apparently New York, the Madison Square Garden in New York City is under renovation around the time when they want to do that. So that's that out. I'm quite happy about it. I've just been to New York for 2 or 3 weeks, and, you know, it's a nice city and all that. It's a beautiful city, but you won't want to live there, and you certainly don't want to sit in the apartment we sat in for 2 weeks where you couldn't swing a cat. Yeah, it's no good. You know what I mean? It's a nightmare. So it'd be nice to go out to Big Bear and do some proper... Absolutely, and then it's only a short journey to either LA or Las Vegas, which is perfect. Exactly. But in California, it's near Ward, and he's always in the comfort zone, that guy. He's always fighting near home, but it takes him away from his home. I don't think he's necessarily going to have a large travelling army, and if it's planned well in advance,
you know, there's a good chance that, you know, your fans, who, by the way, have been unbelievably loyal, you know, getting on planes, trains, avoiding volcanic ash and doing the rest of that stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
fans have been fantastic.
They are staggering, Carl. I really mean that, mate. They've been so loyal.
Eddie Hearn's going to give them the opportunity, which they've not had previously, to come out to these fights and, you know, book a deal, a package deal.
Good.
Where it's all laid on for them. Flight, accommodation, there's your ticket.
Brilliant.
Number, job done. It's going to be made because, you know, it's got the capabilities and the backing to do that.
You know what? I didn't know that, and I was going to say to you today, can't you ask Eddie to put a package deal on? So that's what he's going to do. Let me ask you this, Carl. Did you think, back in July 2009, did you know somewhere in the back of your mind that it was going to be you and Ward in the final?
Yes, definitely.
You did. I thought so.
I looked at, because he was on the other side of the draw as well. So I thought, right, well, I'm going to get through my side of the draw, and who's going to get through out of Ward and the other two that was in his side? I forgot who was in his side of the draw. Was it Arthur Abraham and Jermaine Taylor?
Jermaine Taylor and Abraham on his side, yeah.
Ward's going to come through that, so it's going to be a Froch Ward final, and that's how it's panned out.
Sure.
But it wasn't like scientific or anything. It's
just the way you thought.
I was confident about myself, and I put Ward above the other two.
And just
worked out.
And just as a little side issue, Kessler came back on the night that you were boxing. Sky showed it, and you know, took care of a guy like you'd expect him to take care of someone. Is that also on that sort of radar for also the big homecoming fight next April or May, hopefully at the City Ground?
Yeah, 100%. With Kessler now being back on the active scene and looking good as well. He looked
looked sharp.
Against a limited opposition, but you know, it wasn't cannon fodder in there with him. He looked like he could fight a bit. But I think there's going to be big opportunities for the winner and the loser of the Super Six. I mean, I'm confident I'm going to win this fight, but I don't think there'll be ultimately a big loser, because you've got Kessler, you've got Butte, you've got people sat back waiting now for the two finalists to finish.
Of course,
the
I forgot
tournament,
about Butte,
and then, you know, get matched up in big fights and beyond that.
So we got Kessler out there, we got Butte out there, we got Hopkins out there. In 18 months, 2 years, who knows? Maybe Groves and DeGale will fight again, and that's even a big opponent. And listen, the future's quite nice, Carl. And also, when you were away, if I'm not mistaken, you missed your son Rocco's first steps. Have you seen him running and walking now?
Yeah, he's running and he's walking, stumbling around and falling over. But no, I got a text message off Rachel, my partner, just saying Rocco's just took about 5 steps. It was amazing. It was on the morning, and I was like welling up a little bit, thinking, I missed out. I'll take that out on Johnson. But no, he's still sort of climbing up and stumbling around the houses and falling over. But no, it's brilliant.
Great motivation. Listen, Carl, thanks very much for your time. Enjoy your summer. We'll speak to you again in September or something.
Always a pleasure, Steve. Take care.
No, my pleasure. Carl Froch there, the WBC champion, and not just WBC champion, one of the biggest stars in world boxing at the moment. And will be even bigger now that he's joined up with Sky. I often give Sky a bit of stick, but you can't deny what they can do for a fighter. Now my next